moving on. I'm going on to the sexual mask. A man's need. All right. You say getting a rave for that.
Yeah, boy.
A man's need to conquer women actually reveals a tremendous helplessness that has made suckers out of them for thousands of years.
Before you go on, sorry.
Go on.
Do you ever feel the need to conquer a woman in bed? Is it relating to in bed?
That is heavily.
You feel need to conquer, like it's a conquest, not I want to please you, but I'm gonna conquer you.
I think before, when I was younger, yeah, definitely I need to conquer. It wasn't about them. It was about good right now.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't so much about them.
No, I'm alright.
Having a pleasurable time. It was more, I need to nut.
It's very specific. Very
Keep it
specific.
100 though. That's what it was. I need to nut. I want to make sure that they're moaning and groaning, so I know I've done a good job. And that's how I would see it. It's like, okay, well, they're trying to scratch man and pull man. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's how I saw it. But nowadays, it's not so much a conquest. It is genuinely, I want to please the woman. When I imagine living in a freewheeling love commune during my monogamous relationship, I thought I'd be adrift in the blissful sea of pleasure, excitement and feminine energy. But instead I only feel embarrassed that I'm monopolising three hearts. Neil was living what many guys would consider the ultimate dream, and it turned out to be an intense nightmare. This is from page 85.
Mm-hmm.
This is a question to you guys. Was you ever a player, and did you enjoy it?
I'd say no, I wasn't a player. So I can't say I enjoyed it. So I wasn't involved in the game. But what I can say, based on Neil, I've read this book. This book is mad funny. I don't know where
you read the book from
Yeah. I read the book like a long time ago. I lent it to Mason. So
yeah, but
he didn't get to it.
I didn't
the thing is, like, I can't remember why I bought the book.
Yeah.
All right, and I lent it to a few people. When people
Can
just
you remember what the name of the book is, just for anyone that's listening?
oh shit, it was there.
They do mention it in this book. I haven't
Neil
noted it down
Strauss.
myself.
The Game.
The game, yeah.
That was it. The Game. Mad funny because like. I'm not too sure. Anyway, read the first couple of pages and I thought this dude is funny, stupid. Basically, he's a nerd. Truth be told, no, he is. He's a nerd.
Self-proclaimed nerd.
He ends up. I think he's not getting any girls, stuff like that. And then he rolls himself on a course in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Goes to Vegas, does the course, and somewhere along the line, obviously, starts getting girls and stuff like that. He ends up, I think, like getting Britney Spears and all this type of stuff. He mentions it somewhere. That's what he's claiming anyway. So like in the book and stuff like that. So it's a very good, very funny book. So, but your question is,
was you ever a player and did you enjoy it?
I think I've answered that.
What do you call a player, French? Just someone that's got a few birds on the go.
Yeah.
Do you know what's mad? Like, I've never actually had multiple birds or females on the go.
Yeah.
So it'll normally be. I better calm myself down. It's never. I've never been like. There's been certain people I know that'll be like, I've got 6 links or some BS.
That face.
I'll chat some BS. I've got 6
face.
links, but then when you see him, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Not as all. Not have
be.
him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not exactly. Yeah.
But I've never been that guy, and to be honest, I don't understand. Like, the older I've got, I just don't get it. I'll be honest. I don't get it. Like, I just don't. I don't have time. I don't have time personally, but I just don't see how other people have time and they still enjoy that bullshit. Like, the older you get, you just want to have intellectual experiences. Like, okay, you might not want to be in a serious relationship or fully committed to someone, but at the same time, for me, if I'm not in a serious relationship with someone and it is just we're dating and, you know, you're doing all the physical side as well, I still want to have an intellectual engagement with them. Like, so we can bounce off each other. I need to have a conversation. Seriously. Like, if that's not even there, I actually don't even want to, you know, do the physical stuff. And I'm being dead serious. But yeah, I've never been that kind of player. I've been about a little bit, but that's about it.
It's mad, you know, because like I had this conversation with someone on the way here, kind of thing. So we discussed a few things. I was saying that I've always had like a real strong respect for women. I don't know if there's anything to do with my mum. Yeah, I don't know with my mum, my sister, this, that, and the third. So like, obviously, I know boys will be boys and stuff like that. So So yeah, there've been times when I've been seeing this individual or maybe a couple at the same time, but like that is mad tiring, and just the whole fact of like maybe trying to disrespect women or that type of stuff, that's just not me.
Don't risk with you.
No, it doesn't sit well with me at all. But what I was saying though, like on the way here was, like I think I may not have been like told or taught by anyone, by any way, shape or form, but I think you have like images maybe of either programs or people who are being, we'll call it successful with women, and then you kind of follow their lead, and then somewhere along the line you kind of figure out actually that's not for me, or that is not me in any way, shape or form, and actually, you know what, I'm actually just going to be who I am with these girls. And again, obviously that probably just leads to me like not really seeing loads of girls at the same time. And then there's been experiences where I lied to someone one time, and she was like, "I've been all over your face that you're lying. Don't you ever lie to me again." I was like, "Yo, yes, man. No more lies. That's done." Then I thought to myself, "No more lying, just because clearly you're rubbish at lying." And I just kept it simple. Yeah, kept it real simple. So really, like, yeah. So I forget. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yeah, you have.
You have. Okay, you answered it like 3 times.
Okay, cool. No worries. Yeah. So yeah, that's not for me. That's not for me anyway. Before.
How would you answer them?
Yeah, I was a bit of a player back in the day. Did I enjoy it? I think from an aspect of being able to have banter with the lads, it was more of a mask. Mm-hmm. It was just because nowadays, fuck that, it's long. Like, I can just about deal with one woman. Like, I'll be honest though, like I just about kind of manage that kind of by itself. So to have multiple and having different ones ringing your phone at different times, that player shit ain't for me. I'm not built to be a player. Like I've got no patience. So yeah, I just can't do it. So again, as I said, maybe it is with maturity. It becomes different. Like my viewpoint on life is, I don't have time to play around, have games. So I think when you're at adolescent age, you're more into it. You've got a lot more free time in your hands, so you're not really thinking about the implications that you may be having, or the even effects that you may have on those each individual ladies or girls' hearts. So again, going back to it being a mask and having that bravado of being with a man, then it's like, yeah, I've got this girl over there, and I've got that girl over there, and I've got this one over here, and blah 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 blah. You're with the man, then so it sounds cool and it looks cool, and it's, but when you start seeing the bigger picture of life, it's dead, isn't it? It
is dead. And you know what? As I said, one of the things, even with a lot of the females I've entertained when I was younger, I'm being dead serious. Like, so many of them was just so that I could feel part of a group of my boys that used to have links. Like you say, man, man's got a link in Basingstoke or Farnborough or whatever. Yeah, that's it. And like, I'm beating out a dead thing. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it's a dead thing. Like, but it's just like, yeah, man's got it. It sounds so good. Like, right, man's got a link down there. You know? Like, that man go blaze. Like, they nicknames it Basingstoke, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you remember? I can't believe how animated we were.
Yeah, I know.
That's stuff like
that. Who's coming Basingstoke on Wednesday night for? Was it Oceana's down there? Liquids. Yeah, it was one of them places. Yeah, man's being at the bouncers team and all that. Do you remember?
It was so animated.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, it was that. But I think again, as we kind of touched on it, it was more of a adolescent thing. Like if you're in the same age group as us and you're still on this player thing, then obviously I'm not.
I can't reason with you. I'm sorry.
You'd hope that with maturity you learn the difference between sex and intimacy.
Yeah.
And when you're younger, it's just sex. But as you get older, you do, as you said, you start thinking about people's feelings and what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You ever been a player?
No.
I don't wanna be a player. No.
If we're honest, for many men, life has become a never-ending trophy hunt, but none of them end up feeling like a winner. We just think we've won because we've added another woman to our tally. It's not about intimacy; it's about arithmetic. And yet the math always turns out to be disappointing.
When I was younger, not now. Yeah, when I was younger.
Would you rather props for sleeping with a significant number of women or be ridiculed for not getting enough?
Right now, ridicule. I don't care. Like, if I turn around right now and said, I've already slept with one girl and she's my wife, fuck you lot. Realist talk. I don't care, because guess what? You're out here with hundreds on your, what's the term people use that right now? The body, is it bodies? Body count. Hundreds on your body count, and you're there going home alone and you ain't got a significant other and you feel that emptiness. If I had to stay with one person right now and it's my significant other and we're married and we're working towards something, guess what? I'm the winner. So fuck you lot. That's how I would feel right now.
I know
right now.
French, I know you mentioned this before. I mean, you mentioned, I think maybe touched on it just very briefly. I think in seeing 5 or 6 different women, I think it's very, very difficult to actually not commit to one, but actually get to know one.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how that happens. You're sharing you're sharing yourself with so many different people that you don't actually get an opportunity to really invest in actually one of those people, unless you're actually open for it to be more than sexual, and you're actually kind of seeing, you know, which one kind of like takes my fancy in relation to actually maybe going a little bit further. But when you're younger, I can't really see anyone being, I don't remember anyone being that open as to, you know what, I really like this girl, I think she kind of like, she's a bit in tune with the way I'm going with my life and so on and so forth. But like, yeah, I couldn't invest my time the way certain guys are investing their time. It's funny you say that though, because I think just before that,
is there still anyone in your friendship network or circle that you know that still plays the games we were playing when we were in our late teens and borderline early 20s? Like, I don't think I know anyone.
Like, anyone that's out on the field still.
I said out on the field.
It's true, isn't it? If they're still out on the field, like for me, I might just keep it 100. If I'm seeing someone and you haven't got that kind of
chemistry, or
not even chemistry, but a case of we've had this conversation where this is exclusive.
Yeah.
Like, just keep it 100 with them. I'm seeing you. I'm seeing other people as well, and if they're with it, then they're with it. But the whole player thing and like switching up the numbers and kind
that's
of
long.
ducking calls.
That's long.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's what, as a player, you do.
The thing is, men do that. That's long.
No, but that's what men do. If you're a player, you're gonna be put a different name in a phone book, and do you know what I mean? That's that real player shit. Like, what's that film with?
I was too dumb to do that.
What's his name? Bellamy or something. Bill
Bellamy, yeah.
What's it? How to Be a Player?
Yeah.
Like those kind of antics there. Like anyone, no one in my circle does that now. Do you know what I mean? It's not that.
See, like, just as I said before, there's a paragraph before the one you read where I don't watch Mad Men. I don't know what it's about, but there's a character called
Don Draper.
Don Draper. It reminds me of an exchange on season 5 of Mad Men. Don Draper comes into Roger Sterling's office, dissatisfied and upset with the direction of the company. He is questioning the industry altogether. Despite the luxuries in the Madison Avenue skyscraper with the perks, Don Draper asks Roger, "What do we do this for?" As he pours himself a drink in the middle of the morning, Roger's classic answer is for sex.
Yeah.
I'm saying it on myself, but I think a lot of guys, I mean, they do themselves up specifically and kind of like with the main aim, like somewhere along the line, is to get the girl. Would you be right? Would I be wrong in saying that? I'm not saying at our age, but certainly at a younger age in terms of putting themselves together, going to work and this and that and the third.
Yeah.
I don't know what Mad Men's about. I'm not too sure in any way, shape or form.
Yeah, I haven't watched it myself, but I know what you're referring to.
I just think that's crazy. I mean, I'm not. Would you say was you like that in any way, shape or form?
In
terms of like whether it's the money, the car, this and that and the third, kind of geared towards the girl.
I think all of it is to an extent. No,
I'm not disagreeing with you, by the way.
Yeah, no, to an extent, it's always going to be about attracting the opposite. Well, for me, because I'm a heterosexual, attracting the opposite sex. Like, I'm gonna want to drive a nice car and have a big house, and do you know what I mean? Like, if I could get the baddest girl on earth and not have nothing to my name, then I would do it. That would require.
Why do you think you need all these things to get?
I don't think I think it's more a society. Society puts that pressure on you to have these things to be able to put you in a position where you're almost looked at without having to do anything.
French, I'll tell you the truth, yeah, I'm worried because I'll be dead honest with all of you. If I wanted to go out and I wanted to put a pair of Louboutins on my feet, and sorry, I didn't even want to say the brands, but if I wanted to look a certain way, I could do that. But I am actually scared of the type of person that would be attracted to that bullshit. Yeah, and that's why I don't do it, because I don't want to attract that person.
Yeah.
I want to. I don't mind attracting a person. I don't mind looking broke as fuck. I don't look broke as fuck, but I just like. Do you know what I mean? Not over. You know, look at me, look at me. Yeah. I want to attract a person who's got fucking personality, who's got intelligence, who can teach me something. And then guess what? Later down the line, you're gonna learn. I'll look after you if like I can actually look after you. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather that than look at him. I wonder if he can buy me a road.
And for me, it goes back to values. Some people like the thought of being able to grow together, to have a foundation together, rather than having this ready-made man kind of show them.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
But it says a lot that, again, society kind of depicts that you have to be well put together in order to.
That's the stereotypical. Obviously, not
Yeah.
everyone is indulged in that thought process. But if you was to talk to the average person, then it's almost like every woman wants a well-set man that's already got it, and vice versa, I suppose, in some aspects.
I think the whole social media boom has not helped our society,
Nah.
our generation at all.
Not in any way,
for
shape,
those
or
that are
form.
still
Not in any way, shape, or
seeking
form.
out. Like,
Sorry, French. Before you continue, I think
Yeah.
like on the same paragraph that you read, I kind of like flipped it from a female perspective, and I put down that's why it's really important for girls to encourage or draw out guys to take their mask off, and why in general I enjoy dating in getting to know someone. Of course, obviously I want to have sex with that person, but I almost equally enjoy actually getting to know that person, kind of thing. Like not necessarily unveiling her mask,
Yeah.
but. Actually, if I actually get to know you and you really like me, you're gonna have sex with me anyway. Right? No, you're going to. You're going to. But if I get to know you, if I get to know you, then you never know. You never know. But that's for me. That's not that I have an angle, but if I want to actually get to know you. Forget like I don't want to say physical feature. Forget all that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But actually want to get to know you and try to find obviously a little bit more about you and type of stuff. Then we'll soon see, kind of thing. Like all that will happen. Like that. I was about to say that's a given. Yeah, that's a given. Like let's focus on you.
So then, with that in mind,
Yeah.
would it matter at what point in your kind of interactions with the person that you had sex with them? Would it matter if
No,
it was
it
really
do-
soon, or
no.
they
Not
kind of
for-
waited before it was out?
I'm speaking for myself, but go on.
We mean
If I'm getting along with someone, I will wait. I swear
I
on
can
my
wait.
life.
yeah, me too, 100% wait. Oh, sorry, no, man, sorry there. Yeah, I'm waiting. See, but that's what I'm encouraging girls to do. That's what I always think to myself, so that's the reason why I put girls on a massive. Sorry, I'll go on married side. That's why I put girls on a real high pedestal. As you know, and I've said I respect women. I've never understood like if girls try to unveil the mask of men, you'll find out whether they're interested or not. They'll it's like not for the dim ones, but the ones who ain't got no patience. For the ones who ain't got no patience, they're cutting out. You know what I'm saying? Then you know, and then you can decide like he's serious, he's not serious. He's serious, he's not serious. So that's why sometimes I can be a little bit disappointed in women when they make it easy for men. I feel if you try to get to know someone, you easy. Oh, he's not serious.
Moving on slightly from P. For most boys, junior high and high school is a time when they struggle to figure out sex, have sex, and then brag about having sex. Where left out of the discussion is what's happening to them and their partners during all of that. Boys simplify the discussion of sex down to a binary system, whether they have or haven't had it, and their social status and masculine security.
It's mad.
And their answer
It's
on their
mad.
answer. Can we ever minimise the social stigma of not having sex at that young age?
Alright, I'm not in school, or I've been in school for many a year, but it is mad. Like, it is. See, I don't know how you lot's high school upbringing was. You went to a girls' school, right? So maybe I don't know if it's any different, but for us that went to a mixed school, it is a madness. Like, because I didn't lose my virginity till after high school, actually. So I was 16. Yeah, I was 6. I'd done all the other stuff, but I didn't actually lose my virginity till after I finished high school. So I was 16.
That would have been
was I
late
16?
in our circles.
Exactly. So I was 16 at the time, but I'd finished high school already.
Yeah.
So I was like, and 16 is young. When you look
know,
now,
of course it
you're like
is.
16 years old.
Of course it is.
But it's mad, bro. Like when you're in high school,
That's the topic of discussion.
you need to just you could beat a rock. Literally, you just need to lose it. It's like shaking that camel off your back. You need to get rid of it. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's just so much peer pressure. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. Like proper unbelievable. It's crazy, bro.
I think
It's
those are the buzzwords.
mad.
It's peer pressure.
It is crazy, Adele.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And right, do you know what the maddest thing is? I said it earlier. If I had only had sex with one person in my life and I was with them for life, right now that I know what I know and what I've been through or whatever, that's fine. Do you get what I'm saying? I could accept that. But when you're 14, 13 even, 14, 15, 16, yo, what you know? My man's beating up, It is mad.
Yeah, it's a competition.
It's mad, bro.
It's straight up peer pressure. If we're honest with ourselves, we'll admit that the
No one else
questions.
got asked the question.
No, go on. I'm comfortable. I was sitting there. You can ask me any question. Go on.
So, bro, if we're honest with ourselves, we'll admit that questions about how sex fits with our moral and ethical systems just aren't on the table. You're more likely to fit in with other guys if you put those issues to the other side and talk about the sexual conquest instead. If you want to talk about feelings or love or whether your sex life is really a positive experience for everyone involved, forget about fitting in. Now my question is, do you think it's different when talking one-to-one compared to in a group, and why?
With who?
Like amongst
With
the
a
boys?
female or amongst the boys?
Guys.
I think it's definitely a difference, massive difference.
Like say me, you, and a couple of them and them are talking.
Yeah, about what?
Versus like sex.
You can have an honest conversation one-to-one when it's in a group.
There you go.
Everyone's just chatting and there's people
So everyone's got that
embellishing.
sexual mask on.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's the difference.
Yeah, definitely, massive
depends.
difference.
It depends. If you can have, because even in amongst a group, there's certain people within a group you can have a frank and honest conversation with. You won't be judged. Whereas there's certain others, even if you had that one-to-one conversation, you still getting judged. And guess what? They're highlighting your business to the rest of the group.
100%.
So it really does depend.
Yeah.
It
How about
does
ridicule people anyway? Ridiculous.
I want to get a female because do you know what from what I know this because I have a lot of female friends, but females, they speak a lot about this kind of stuff. You know, you think we speak a lot about it. Females, you guys go in as well. Yeah, but
I've never not thought they didn't.
Yeah, but they go in a bit more than the guys about.
No, but they
talking
go
about
more
this.
detailed.
Yeah.
We kind of keep it basic.
Very
They
basic.
detail it out.
Yeah.
So what's your perspective on it? Do you think it's different when talking one-to-one or compared
And
to
with a group? Would you say the same thing
Depends
in a
who
group?
the one-to-one is. Because as you said, is it someone that's going to run back and tell the group anyway?
Yeah.
Or, so it depends on the level of friendship that I have with that person.
Okay. What about you, Pete?
Yeah, I think I said already. Yeah.
Alright, call it one of the paradoxes of masculinity. Sex, the one thing that confuses and bothers us the most, is the one topic that we can only talk about in the form of jokes or one-upmanship. Why can't we talk about sex without the banter?
Without the banner?
Yeah.
What do you mean why can't we talk about sex without the banner?
Like,
Do you know what's mad? Spud me. Or
Oh,
do something.
Oh,
Anyway,
go on.
no, just I was having this conversation with Toe on the way here about it's banter, isn't it? It's mad. It's mad. Like I'm trying to think if I can have a conversation with
About
one
sex.
person about sex without banter.
That's what I mean.
Like, it is mad.
You're always going to have some kind of banter involved.
Yeah, because I think there's all
It's mad. I can't imagine speaking to someone, to one of my boys, and saying, the lovemaking was incredible. They were so sensual. I kissed the top of her neck and she made this sound. Like,
hold on one second. Actually,
I can't imagine speaking to my man
so
about...
do girls have that type of conversation?
yeah.
What?
No, that type of
As
conversation
in that?
you said.
Is it?
Yeah, that would be like a one-on-one.
As in, he licked my earlobe when I felt my bum cheek twitch or something like that.
Yeah, I've had this kind of conversation before.
Yeah, man, no can't have that.
We can't have that.
Yeah.
We can't have that. Yeah, we can't have that
But the thing
conversation.
is as well, I imagine when people talk about sex together, they talk about it as kind of conquest. Would you talk about things if it was like, I couldn't make her come, or she said it was really shit, or would you have some conversation?
Do you know what the maddest thing is? I'll still do it in a banterish way.
You'll still be banter. It'll still be banter. It's like, I couldn't make a come, but I did.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, shit. Madness.
Alright, so every woman is warned about these kinds of near rape experiences, but not many men feel like this could happen to them. They have no vocabulary for talking to others about such experiences, and they fear. I kind of jumped it slightly.
That's
but,
alright.
they fear if they did share them, they might get called something derogatory or be asked what's wrong with them. What would be your first port of call if sexually attacked by a woman?
You know what? When I read that, obviously I know that happened to.
And that's on page
It
99.
happened to Lewis House.
Yeah,
when
it
he was
happened to Lewis
studying,
House, sorry,
when he was
yes.
studying.
The
So
first.
can I give this? I want to give perspective.
Go on.
Yeah.
So Lewis House was studying perspective, the story,
Yes.
the backdrop. He was studying, and he said what it was. He was sharing with a roommate. It was like bunk beds, like a dorm. And his roommate would often wake up at mad hours in the early morning, go out, whether it's the toilet or just go out and leave the door unlocked. And on one such occasion, a female came in drunk, and he woke up and she was like basically either sucking him off or togging at his things, and trying to have sex with him. It's like he basically said he kicked her out, kicked her off the bed.
But he said some funny adjectives there.
Yeah, he basically got out of the room.
I heard one word screaming in there.
Yeah, he got out of the room eventually, but he had to physically maneuver her. It wasn't like get off and she got off. But if a man dumps a woman, that would be a rape case. That's a Bill Cosby case.
100%
yeah?
rape case.
Straight up and down. But he was saying he didn't report or anything. And what's crazy, and what is crazy, this was my missus at the time, but I've actually woken up and she's doing certain things to me, and it was pleasurable. But I was like, yo, I was unconscious at the time. And you woken me up. I didn't call for this.
No problem with that though, but
I partly feel the same way.
It was my missus at the time.
For yourself,
But at the same time, I didn't agree to it. How can I consensually agree when I'm not even conscious?
No, but if you're
Do you know
doing the
what,
same
they
thing,
raised that
that's
recently in relationships as well. Like, is there such thing as rape in a relationship? Like, is there such thing as consent that you need to give if you're in a relationship and stuff like that? Do you think?
I think, yeah, to an extent. I mean, like, if
she's saying
no, and it's your girl, it's like, no,
she's
you're
like,
my girlfriend, so you have to say yes. Nah, obviously, no means no.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, no matter if you're in a relationship or not, no is no. Like, remember, no is no. But
Disclaimer.
gotta make sure people know. But yeah, no, I don't think that's.
There seems to be a gender imbalance there, though.
Unfortunately, that's life. There are imbalances in regards. No, there is. It's true.
No, but I think.
I'm not saying it's right.
But going back to the original
not.
point.
No, I'm not saying it's right at all. I forget what the word is. Sorry, go
Going
on.
back to the original point in terms of like you being unconscious and your females doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think there's nothing wrong with that, but it's when it's a female that you don't know. that's where the lines can be drawn. Do you know what I mean? It's like, hold on. Do you know what I mean? You get violated. You know, like, again, going back to what you were saying about double standards, about like, say you see a girl and you like her and you slap her ass and whatever like that, and she might get offended, and rightly so, she can be, and it's almost like, okay, shit, like, I kind of fucked up there. But if a girl does it to you, and you blatantly feel violated, but you can't be like, like, don't touch me, you're gonna be like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? But, so there is a double standard to it. So I think that
I would agree
that is the point.
There is. Mini tangent here, but if you think about, male teachers who get with underage students, and it's like, they're paedophiles.
Yeah.
But then when a woman does it, for some reason, they're seen as cougars, or it's not received in the same way.
Oh, the women are. Sorry,
the women are cougars.
Yeah, women having sex with like the former pupils or underage pupils.
Yeah, as a student, I'd be like, I'm not gonna tell anyone. Like,
no, the boys, I know what the boys are up to. I mean, the boys, I know how they feel about it. But are we saying there's some sort of respect given to the teachers from?
Not necessarily respect, but
women.
you wouldn't. How often do you hear about female teachers being called paedophiles when they're doing that kind of thing?
Oh, not very often. Not in comparison to the men.
Yeah.
Yeah, that terminology is not used.
Yeah, not at all.
Alright, so there are a lot of people, swingers and those type of guys, who say you can sleep with multiple women and have deep emotional connections with all of them. I don't believe that. Believe me, I've tested this. I wish it was true. I've lived with 3 women while I was sleeping with all of them. I've never seen a situation where you're capable of having deep and intimate, trusting emotional connections with multiple women with open relationships. Could a polygamous relationship work for you? And that's to anyone.
I've never tried it, to be honest.
But just in theory.
That sounds like. I mean, we discussed it very briefly. I don't know if it was in the last chapter. That sounds like way too much work, man. Like this personality. I mean, that's what Neil Strauss was doing in the house. I don't know if that's the example. He was living like he was living with 3-4 different women, and man, that's mad stress.
It's too much effort, bro.
Yeah.
But do you not think it's because of the way we've been raised?
I think that's society. I think it's society.
It's been drummed into us.
No, but that was said in there before. It was mentioned before. They mentioned the church as well.
I haven't noted that down.
I think they mentioned the church.
You're referring to the same segment, yeah.
Yeah, I think they mentioned the church. Well, I think it's a load of nonsense, man. I think in terms of like, it's an easy cop out to blame the church as to why people would only want to be with one woman and stuff like that. I mean,
but there's certain religions where you can have more than one wife.
Exactly.
That's good on. It's good for them, man. But I just not that I don't think it's normal, because I think everyone's got their own different take on what's normal. But I just feel, Yeah, I just feel we're meant to be for like one person kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Instead of I want 4 or 5 wives. I don't know what that's about.
I don't actually agree with you.
I don't.
That we're meant to be with one person. I don't agree.
No,
with you.
no.
I just feel like I would be happy knowing I only have to deal with one person and I could actually be committed to one person.
Or just you being lazy, like. And...
Fuck off. Oh gosh. Yeah, but I don't necessarily agree with you. I think it's a society thing, bro. Like it's traditional. It's normal.
I'm with Mace on that one.
Yeah, definitely.
So you can be with 4 or 5 husbands. So, is you in relation to men or? Sorry, that was a bit wild. That was a bit wild. So I kind of apologise, but I mean, like, no. I think you know where I'm coming from, or you don't. Oh, sorry, you don't. Sorry, no. So in relation to men, all right. Obviously, in terms of having 4 or 5 different. Sorry, he's gone left. Sorry, in relation. No, I think you know where I'm coming from. It was a bit wild, a bit left field. What I'm saying in relation to men having 4 or 5 different partners, are we saying that like women can do the same thing?
It's up to them.
It's up to them. Yeah, that's all.
Again, goes back to values and tradition. I'm a traditional kind of person. I would be with one person, not many different people at one time.
Okay, cool.
You look shook, box.
I'm not shook at all. I'm cool.
Alright, here's a big time myth that's taken root in our culture. The more emotionally open and available you are, the worse sex gets. A lot of men reading this right now are probably nodding their heads in agreement. It turns out that the opposite is true. As a whole bunch of recent research has proven, emotional intimacy increases both sexual desire and sexual libido. Do you find having an emotional connection causes a stronger erection?
We've touched upon this with me on previous podcasts. You know my feelings.
Attached book,
with the attached book. Season 1?
Yeah, season 1.
You know my feelings. I'll go into it for the new listeners and new viewers, but I'm very much for it. I very much feel you have to have that in a relationship. It's very important. Like, and for me, when you've got that kind of, your partner a lot deeper, it's a different type of connection, bro. It's a different type of intimacy, and that correlates in the sexual transactions you have as well. For me, I can't speak for everyone.
No, I agree with that.
Like, I love the deepness.
Into the dark. Love the deepness.
Do you think the emotional intimacy is more powerful than physical?
Powerful, man. I mean, power.
What do you think?
He's a different type of attachment style to Pops and that. So he's having a different trail of thought. He'd definitely have a different trail of thought. He's more nut and go.
No, once upon a time, I think as I'm maturing, I'm definitely more gearing towards the emotional side of things, but I'm still not quite there yet. I'm growing.
That's what it matters. We're all growing.
Yeah. To kind of finish it off on the last part of the sexual mask, it states who you sleep with becomes who you are, and the number of women you've slept with determines your worth. It's not unlike unsatiable. I'm messing up the word now. Insatiable. No, that is not it. A quest for riches that comes from wearing that material mask. It's a never-ending cycle, which is on page 105. For the last, literally to end off.
So I don't know if this question is better for the end, but I mean, I'm going to say it anyway. Why doesn't sex fit with our moral and ethical systems?
What are you talking about?
No, I'm saying people detach sex from their moral compass as to what they'll do. No, I'm being serious. It's in here anyways. It's not like I'm talking nonsense. It's in here.
Oh, I love it.
It's true.
Go on.
Okay, cool. I'll read the passage anyway. If we're honest with ourselves, we'll admit that. If we're honest with ourselves, we'll admit that questions about sex fits with our moral and ethical systems just aren't on the table. And I'm asking a question, or maybe you just don't understand. It's one of the two. What I'm saying is, like, people are quite willing to cheat when it comes to sex.
Yeah.
All right, but have different moral compasses as to I'm not willing to like. They're loyal, so they're happy to be loyal. Loyalty is in their moral compass. But at the same time, when it comes to sex, they can be drawn into temptation and then potentially cheat. And I'm saying, why don't they fit?
More tumbleweed.
It's quite a simple question. Why doesn't sex fit with our moral and ethical systems? It's almost like two different systems. People choose to do this and choose to do that as to sex, as to are potentially prepared to cheat when they're with a partner, but at the same time will speak loyalty when it comes to business.
Yeah, because they're two different entities.
No, but we're talking about roughly the same. No, we're talking about cheating and loyalty, which are essentially the same thing. I'm saying, why is there a difference? Why do people have a so don't those two systems like?
It could be because I'll relate something different. It's just like I've been going to the same barber for 20 years and I won't ever go to another barber. Yeah.
Yeah.
I relate to that, and I'll just say maybe you're just bored, or maybe I've got a good friend. And I won't mention his name, but he always moans to me and says his missus doesn't put out. Like he's not saying he's cheating on her, but he's just like, why won't she put out? Does she not fancy me anymore? And it's just like, come on, like. I've got very basic needs. One of them, just let me fucking come. Do you get what I'm saying? And like, I related to that. Like, I won't cheat on my barber. I'm not trying to, promote anyone's tunes or anything, but I won't cheat on my barber, and I won't cheat on the missus. But you might get bored of having sex with the same person. Like, you might love your family, but actually you want something different now and again, something dirty, something really grimy.
So you're saying boredom, really?
Could be boredom.
Okay.
The key to figuring out all this is learning how to be alone, how to love yourself. You need to be in a relationship with yourself first. When you're looking for love and validation from the outside, you inevitably I can't even say it. Lose yourself and the ability to cultivate self. Love because nothing inside you seems as valuable as what you get from someone else. One of the ways to do this is forgiveness. Sometimes the hardest person to forgive is yourself. Make a list of all the things in your life and you still feel guilty for, and make a conscious decision to actually forgive yourself for each one of these items. Then write a letter to yourself describing all the things that you love about you. This only for you to see and experience. And that is advice to the men. And to sign off with this chapter, the advice to the women is: the more connected a man is to his vision, the more quickly that sexual void will be filled. A vision represents what a man wants, what he's committed to, and is bigger than what his ego wants. When a man is trapped behind a sexual mask, his vision is blurry. Help him clear it up.
That's a message to women. That Lewis House saying.
Okay,
Which
Yeah, so that is the end of the first part of the book.
Excellent. Guys, any final thoughts on the first part of the book, guys?
Nah, none of this moment. I think it's been good so far.
What do you think of the book so far?
No, I like it. I think it, again,
It's
obviously,
interesting.
encourages people to...
We need to thank Adele for being in the
Yeah, thank you for your time today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Del, thank you for your insight on certain topics. What I know you haven't actually you've read elements of it, but we haven't really read it in full. What have you thought so far, just on the extracts that French has read out, and just on the topics discussed today? Has it been of interest?
It has. I think it's made me more curious because when I think about people and the way that they kind of portray themselves, I've never thought of masks. And something you were talking about, Lee, is that you're interested in horoscopes.
Yeah.
So I'd always think about when you think about intimacy and compatibility, I'd always think of it in the context of maybe horoscopes. Have you heard of the love languages?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so that kind of ties in with this. So one of the love languages is about being materialistic, for example, or affirmation, so different ways of intimacy. So I think thinking about masks of masculinity is a different way, I think especially for women, to think about what men kind of give off and the motivation behind why they portray themselves a certain way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Interesting.
Thanks for your perspective.
French, anything to sign off on this first part?
No, I'm good, bro. Good, man. Just,
Guys, as we said before, at full_e_booked for the Instagram. Is it at fully booked Twitter as well? Facebook?
No, you're right. So a full_e_booked for Twitter, Instagram, and I think it's just full_e_booked for Facebook and SoundCloud. Okay, and SoundCloud as well. Please subscribe to our podcast as well on iTunes. It's just type in Fully Booked, FULLEBOOKED, and it will come up. As I said, season 3 now. Lewis Howes. We've read the first half of the book. We've reviewed it. Please keep following. Please keep watching. Please keep listening. Lovely to hear your comments, feedbacks. We'll be posting various things on Instagram. Keep updated. Thank you.
Cool.